Now let's look at the mean. So what is the mean? The mean or arithmetic mean is the average of a set of numbers. It is very easy to calculate, and we do this by adding up all the numbers, then we divide by the total number of numbers there are. So mathematically it is given by this symbol x bar, which is the summation of x over the total numbers that are present. So the mean represents a single number that gives an idea of the average of all the numbers that exist in the data. So let's take a look at how to calculate the mean. So find the arithmetic mean of the following sets of numbers, and we are given all the set of numbers. So the way we go about it is that we'll find the sum of all of them and we divide it by the total numbers there are. So the mean, which is denoted as x bar, is equals to the sum of x over n. So the summation of x will be the sum of all those numbers, 176 plus 174 plus 178 plus 181 plus 174 plus 175 plus 179 plus 180 plus 177 and plus 182 divided by the total numbers there are. And when we count that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 numbers. So the mean will be equal to, when you sum this up together, you get 1776 and you divide by 10. So the mean is what? 177.6. So let's take a look at another example. So in this example, we are told that the mean of the score of 5 students is 80. If the score of 3 of the students are 76, 81 and 73, and the remaining 2 students have the same score, find out what their scores are. So this is like a simple application of the mean. So we know that the mean is given by summation of the numbers x over the total numbers there are. So now we know that n is equals to 5 because we are told that there are 5 students. But we know the scores of the first 3 students. The first student scored 76, the second 81, the third 73. But we don't know what the fourth and the fifth student scored. But we are told that they scored the same mark. So we can say, let the score of the fourth and fifth students be equals to x. So how do we find the mean? So we know that the score of the first student is x and the score of the fifth student is also x. So the mean we are told is 80. So when we write out the equation, we have summation of x will be what? 76, which is the score of the first student, plus 81 plus 73, then plus the score of the fourth student, which is x, plus the score of the fifth student, which is also x, because we are told that they have the same score over the total number of scores. And in this case, we have 5 scores or 5 students is equals to, we are told that the mean is 80. So when you simplify this, you get 80. So all we have to do is to make x the separate of formula. So when you add all this together, you get 230, and when you have x plus x, you get plus 2x is equals to, when you cross multiply 80 times 5 gives us 400. So I can write out that 2x is equals to 400 minus 230. So 2x will be equals to 170, and if I divide both sides by 2, I get my value of x to be equals to 85. So the score of the fourth and fifth student is 85, and to check it out, you can try to find the mean using 85 as the score of the fourth and fifth student. If you are correct, you should get 80. So that is just a way to verify our results. Now sometimes the information we have might not be given to us directly and might be represented in a frequency table. So when our information is grouped in a frequency table like this, how do we find the mean? So now let's try to find this using the normal way. So now, given this frequency table, we are given the shoe sizes and the frequencies. So from here we can see that 3 people use shoe size of 39, 5 people use shoe size of 41, and 2 people use shoe size of 42. So if I want to write out my data roughly, what would this become? 3 students use size 39. So I'll write 39 3 times. So 3 students use 39. So the first use 39, the second use 39, and the third use 39. 5 students use 41. So I write 41 out 5 times. 3, 4, 5. And 2 people use 42. So I write 42 twice. So now I can easily calculate the mean of all these numbers. So the mean will just be equal to the summation of all these numbers over here over n. And when you sum all these numbers over here, 39 plus 39 plus 39 plus 41 plus all this, you get 406. And when you divide by 10, because now I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 numbers, that gives me 40.6. But if you look at it, we can easily study a trend basically. So now instead of having 39 plus 39 plus 39, I can also calculate my mean by saying what 39 plus 39 plus 39 is the same thing as having 3 times 39. 41 plus 41 plus 41 plus 41 plus 41 is the same thing as having 5 times 41. And 42 plus 42 is the same thing as having 2 times 42. And my 10 is the same thing as the sum of all these frequencies over here. So I still get the same result of 40.6. So we can generalize this idea and come up with a formula. And the formula we'll come up with is the mean is equal to the summation of the product of the frequency times x over the summation of f. So like from our previous example where we had the shoe sizes and the frequencies, so instead of trying to list it out, we can just apply this formula directly. So now by applying it directly, we know that 39 times 3 is 117, 41 times 5 is 205, 42 times 2 is 84. So my summation fx will be the sum of all these numbers over here, which is equals to 406. And while the summation of my frequencies will be the sum of 3, 5 and 2, which is equals to 10. So that is equals to what? 406 over 10, and that is equals to 40.6. So this formula comes in really handy when you are dealing with a question in which you have lots of data. So let's imagine you had like 10 rows over here. Now trying to list out all the data into a raw data might be time consuming and impossible to do. So by just multiplying each of those peculiar data with their frequencies and dividing it by the sum of the frequencies, we can easily calculate the mean. So let's see what I'm talking about with this next example. So in this example, we are given the ages of a group of students who were born in March. So these are the age. So one student was born in the month of age of people who were born in March. So one student that is 13 years old was born in the month of March, while 4 students are age 14, 2 students are age 15, 2 students are age 16, and 1 student is age 17. So we are now told to calculate the mean. So we know that now for this kind of group data, the mean will be equals to what? Summation of f times x over the summation of f. So I can easily or quickly try to draw this out properly. So now I have my age, I have my number, which is my frequency over here, my frequency. So now, and this is my x, so I can easily calculate fx. So for my ages, I have 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. For my frequencies, I have 1, 4, 2, 2, and 1. So the multiplication of my age times frequency, 13 times 1 will give me 13, 14 times 4 will give me 56, 15 times 2 will give me 30, 16 times 2 will give me 32, and 17 times 1 will give me 17. So when I sum this up together, I get 148. And when I sum up the frequencies together, I get 10. So now I can easily calculate my mean. So my mean will be equal to summation of my fx, which is 148, over summation of my frequencies, which is what? 10. And that gives me the mean age as what? 14.8 years. So that is the mean age. So now instead of trying to list out this data by writing 13 once, 14 4 times, 15 2 times, 16 2 times, 17 ones before finding the mean. By using this formula, we can directly find the mean, and this is faster and quicker and even easier. So that pretty much sums up our discussion on mean.